Right, Mr. Dosser back with another video. Today's video is about Lamborghini. Are Lamborghini in trouble? What is going on? Well, let's get into it. Before we do, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and let's get into it. So why do I think Lamborghini in trouble? Well, we have to take a step back and look at what they're actually doing at the moment and what they've done recently. Now, Lamborghini, as we know, is owned by Audi. They are a very, very successful car brand, and they have gone into different areas. Originally started off as a tractor company, and they went to supercars. Then they started more recently making SUVs, such as the Lamborghini Urus. Now, I'll be honest, I put my hands up. At the time, I thought the Urus or the Urus wouldn't be much of a success because I thought it was too expensive. However, I was completely wrong. They're everywhere. If you go anywhere around London, nice areas of London, they're everywhere. They're overlist, even pre what the thing that's gone on, the illness has gone on. I'm not going to say the word again due to affecting revenue, what's it called? AdSense, that's it. Anyway, the point is that even a couple of years ago, they're going for overs, and they're still now going for over list price, which is quite frankly ridiculous. But anyway, they're good cars underneath. Essentially, it's an Audi RSQ8 underneath, but just a bit more fancier. But the reason why I think Lamborghini in trouble is due to the general movement of the automotive industry. Now, we all know electric cars are here to stay. There's massive amounts of investment. I was driving down the motorway the other day and I saw a plethora of electric cars. In fact, I saw, in the space of 2 minutes, 3 different Teslas. 3 different Teslas, a Model S and 2 Model 3s. All in the space of 2 or 3 minutes. And then I saw Kia e-Niro, I saw a Audi e-tron, I saw 2 or 3 Porsche Taycans as well, all in the space of an hour of driving. Now, to me, that sounds like electric cars are picking up, especially when the cars we're talking about are quite expensive, especially the Taycan, etc. The Kia e-Niro is more affordable, however, it's still quite a bit of money. So, this general trend of everything going electric is a problem because Lamborghini has traditionally been about the wow factor. They're not necessarily the fastest, they're not necessarily the best around the track, the most dynamic of cars. However, in terms of physical presence and sound, they are number one. They just are. If you look at the engine lineup, back in the day, you had the Gallardo with a V10, the Murcielago V12, again, Aventador V12. They have a signature engine, like a signature dish. Like when you go to a country, you associate a country with a dish. For instance, here in Britain, fish and chips. If someone said to you, where do I get the best fish and chips? You would say, go to Britain. Go to somewhere, maybe a seaside town here in England. That's where you'd go. And that's that. There's no arguments about that. And this is a problem Lamborghini. How are they going to replicate this with an electric car, with an electric motor? Very, very difficult. That raw, visceral feel, sound you get, that emotion you get from a V10 or V12. And then there's another problem with Lamborghini. They're rehashing models left, right and centre, and they've got a habit of this. For instance, the Sesto Elemento, with 2012, they only produced 20. That's pretty much a Gallardo with a different shell. And then they made the Veneno, which underneath, let's be honest, is an Aventador. And then they made the Centenario, again, an Aventador underneath. The Lamborghini Sian, I don't know how it's pronounced. I'm guessing it's Sian, not Sean, because Sean wouldn't have the accent on the A. That again, it's a rehashed Aventador. And you start to think to yourself, why are they doing this? And even when you look at the Ventador has been in production for over 10 years. There's been so many iterations. You had the original Ventador, and the Ventador Roadster. Then you had the LP720, the 50th anniversary edition. Then you had the 50th anniversary edition Roadster. Then you had the SV Roadster, the Aventador S, the Aventador S Roadster, the SVJ, and the SVJ Roadster. In terms of which one to pick, in case you're wondering, I would personally go for the SV Roadster, because in terms of numbers produced, it's one of the lowest and it's the most significant car. The SV tends to be the one that people want. So Diablo SV, Murcielago SV, and so on and so forth. You can guess which Aventador is actually the most wanted one. And the SVJ, I don't know about you, but I think it's a bit over the top, slightly tacky, and they don't actually sound as good due to the petrol particulate filter, and I think they're just overpriced. And to be honest, the market showed that when the SVJ came out, They didn't really go for overs. The values did drop, whereas SV, their values have held pretty well. Huracan, again, I mean, not as bad, but it's been going since 2014, and they've got the latest edition STO. The only thing I could think of, the clever thing Lamborghini have done, is that they are investing in their SUV range. And in terms of the SUV range, well, it's only one at the moment. However, I reckon they will expand that sector because it's been an amazing success for them. The engine they're using is a twin-turbo 4-litre V8. It is essentially the same engine that you find in a range of Audi, such as the RS6, RSQ8, and in the Bentleys as well. And I do believe with that car, they could get away in the future, in the very near future, with something electric-based or hybrid-based, and it won't be a problem. And I guess Lamborghini could get away with their signature supercar, hypercar, if you want to call it that, being a hybrid V12. However, very soon a hybrid V12 won't really cut the mustard, and they will need to get something much more economical that meets all the target standards, etc., the CO2 averages across Europe, all the different regulations in place. They're very, very stringent now. They're very strict, and they have to meet those standards, otherwise they face a massive fine. Now, I think Lamborghini are being very, very clever. However, I do think they're also slightly taking the mick out of their customers. I've looked at this new Lamborghini Countach. I don't know anyone else has seen the new Lamborghini Countach. All I have to say is it's a rehashed Aventador. All they've done is they squared off the front end to make it look like, oh look, retro styling is a Countach, when it's not really. There's no pop-up headlights, there's no covers over the headlights, and whilst it has some design cues from the Countach, it really isn't one. It is exclusive, which is one thing Lamborghini have got on point here. They've managed to make it actually exclusive. Whereas with the STO and the other cars, such as, well, I guess the Huracan Performante, which I think is one of my favourite. I think the Aventador SV and the Performante, don't get me wrong, by the way, in this video, I love Lamborghinis. I love them. It's just, this is just a talking point because I care about the company. That's why I'm discussing about it. It's not hate. I'm not hating on the company. However, this new Countach, they're making 112 of them. You think to yourself, okay, that's actually exclusive. Whereas with the Performante and the new Huracan STO, they're not really specifying a number. They just said, this is our production year or production cycle. It's limited. They don't actually specify the number. But with this Countach, they're making 112. So you think to yourself, brilliant. How much will it cost? Over €2 million plus local taxes. So we're pretty much talking a £2 million car, which I believe is about $3 million. It's about $3 million. Maybe 2.8 to 3 million. That's a lot of money, mate. That's a lot of money, and you're venturing onto Chiron territory. Is it as comfortable as a Chiron? No. Is it as fast as Chiron? Definitely not. So I don't really see why someone would buy one. The only people I could guess that would buy one would be people that just have a massive car collection already. So they already have a Chiron, a Veyron, all the Lamborghinis, LaFerrari, F12 TDF, McLaren F1, Porsche 918 Spider, Carrera GT, dozen cars or so at least. And I think Lamborghini have taken inspiration with the whole Singer thing. So if you don't know, Singer is a reimagined Porsche, and you can't call it a Singer Porsche due to copyright infringement, I guess, identity, intellectual property, etc. However, I think that it's basically a redesigned car, and I think if this does sell, I can see Lamborghini doing this with the Diablo. I can see them doing this with other cars as well. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a rehashed Miura one day. I really wouldn't. And another thing with this car is they haven't changed the interior. They're adamant on changing the exterior, but interior is pretty much like an Aventador, and I know why. Because I've seen videos and I've spoken to people and read online, when people want custom interiors done, they look at the bill or how much it costs for stitching, etc., the manpower, hours, design, etc. It costs an absolute fortune. You look at the bill and you think, hang on, that's an extra zero, right? That's a typo, that's not right. They're like, no, it is that much. It's ridiculous to retrim an interior, to change the design of it, it costs an absolute fortune. And that's why they haven't done it, because they thought, we know that the exterior of a Lamborghini is enough to sell their cars. Because again, it's about show, presence, sound. And they can use the same engine, increase the power slightly with a remap, change the shell slightly as in the bodywork, keep the interior, all done, job done. So it's not really a massive task for them. And guess what? They will sell every single one of these. I guarantee you right now, I bet you, as I'm talking right now, I reckon every single one of those 112 have been sold. Even though it's extortionately priced, even though it's not worth that much, every single one of them gone. And there's probably people out there that wanted it that couldn't buy it. We're living in crazy, crazy times where a $3 million Lamborghini, pretty much a rehashed retro, where $3 million retro Aventador is being sold out and they can't make enough of them. That's when you know times are crazy. But anyway, let me know what you think of the video. Let me know what you think about Lamborghini. Where do you think their direction is? What do you think of this new Countach? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's a mockery of the Countach? Is it just them trying to make as much money as they can out of their customers? What do you think? Was it a design miracle, revolutionary, anything like that? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you next time.